Newsplus begins right now with me, Wadzanai Sansole. Now, there's lots to cover between now and 9 p.m. These are your top stories. Zimbabwe and the Dangote Group have signed a global agreement focusing on energy, cement, fertilizer, and infrastructure development. This partnership reflects growing investor confidence in Zimbabwe's economic transformation agenda. We have details on that, plus an analysis here on Newsplus. We also have good news for motorists, a bit of a respite, as authorities consider a downward review of car radio licenses. Also on Newsplus, the Anti-Corruption Commission says over 27,000 public officials have signed integrity pledges, expressing commitment to uphold transparency and ethical conduct. And in sports, United Kingdom-based forward Tawanda Maswanise has backed the Warriors to adapt to incoming coach Marian Marinika's football philosophy. Thank you very much for joining us. It is a good evening. We take a look at our top stories now. And just to let you know, Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, today met with President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House in Harare, a high-level engagement that culminated in the signing of a memoranda of understanding between the government of Zimbabwe and the Dangote Group. Now, the agreements mark a major step in strengthening economic cooperation as the billionaire industrialist explores multi-sectoral investments that are set to transform Zimbabwe's industrial and energy landscape. Iben Mabunda gives us more.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa received at the State House Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, with a net worth of over $30 billion, where it is that they discussed various investment prospects in Zimbabwe's economy, which culminated into the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Dangote Group and the government of Zimbabwe. The MOUs witnessed by President Mnangagwa were signed by Finance Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube on behalf of the government and Mr. Dangote representing his multinational conglomerate, Dangote Global. The agreements mark a major milestone in Zimbabwe's investment reform agenda as Dangote Group, West Africa's largest industrial conglomerate, expands its footprint into Southern Africa. Dangote commended President Mnangagwa's administration for implementing pro-business reforms that have boosted investor confidence and created a conducive environment for large-scale investments.
Well, yeah, there are quite a lot of change between that time when we came and now. Government is solid. There is a lot of, transparency. And also, when you look at what His Excellency has actually done in terms of turning the economy around.
Under the new partnership, Dangote Global will inject capital into cement production, fertilizer manufacturing, and the construction of a strategic fuel pipeline linking Namibia and Zimbabwe, a transformative project expected to enhance energy security and drive industrial growth.
It's a broader investment, really. It's in hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even up to $1 billion. But, we will tell you the amount as we go along. But really, it will be over $1 billion.
Founded in 1978, Dangote Global has evolved from a modest trading enterprise into a pan-African industrial powerhouse producing cement, sugar, salt, fertilizer, oil and gas products, and employing over 30,000 people across 17 African nations. The billion-dollar investment is set to stimulate growth across Zimbabwe's productive sectors, creating jobs, promoting value addition, and accelerating the nation's industrialization drive.
To do various investments in various sectors, some of which, of course, in a broader, in cement, some of it in power generation, some of it in pipeline to bring petroleum products. We're in the business of producing oil. We have the largest refinery in the world, single lane in Nigeria, and we want to bring it to Walvis Bay and then pipe down here. So there are a couple of other investments which we're looking at.
Aliko Dangote, through Dangote Industries, oversees Sub-Saharan Africa's largest cement producer and operates the continent's biggest oil refinery, a $20 billion facility in Lagos, Nigeria. His industrial empire, spanning energy, manufacturing and agriculture, continues to redefine Africa's economic landscape, positioning the continent as a rising force in global industry and infrastructure development. Now, over $1 billion is expected to trickle into the Zimbabwean economy from the Dangote Group over the next few years. This, of course, is expected to bring about the much-needed transformation in the productive sectors of the Zimbabwean economy. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I'm Eben Mabunda at the State House.
We are now joined live by an economist, Blessing Nyatanga, for more perspectives on this subject. Good evening, Blessing. Thank you for joining us on Newsplus. What does the visit by Dangote mean for the Zimbabwean economy, especially from a policy standpoint?
Good evening. I think with the arrival of Aliko Dangote, it's going to spell out investment. And as far as investment is concerned, this is a multifaceted function which will actually have ripple effects on the economy. So with his arrival, I think it's going to improve the investment in the country. It's going to ultimately improve the levels of production within the country. And what this says about the country's investment policy is that the investment climate is favorable, because his arrival, it actually points out to that there is a lot of improvement as far as the conditions for investment are concerned. So what we anticipate is improved economic development and ultimate increase in the levels of GDP.
So, Blessing, what's your take on the proposed regional oil refinery and pipeline from Walvis Bay, traversing several SADC countries, including Zimbabwe?
The construction of a pipeline between Namibia and Zimbabwe will actually improve the economy holistically, because you realize that fuel is the backbone of the economy. The first benefit will be cost reduction. Using a pipeline as a transportation for fuel is cost effective. So ultimately we expect that the fuel prices are going to reduce in Zimbabwe, and that is going to improve all the other aspects of the economy, because fuel helps in transportation of goods and services, and fuel also helps in the productive sectors of the economy. And then it's also going to create jobs, because there's going to be need for maintenance of these of the infrastructure that is the fuel pipeline. So the issue of having to construct a fuel pipeline between Namibia and Zimbabwe has got the ultimate benefit in the economy of Zimbabwe.
Now, Dangote did drop hints on investment in cement and agriculture. How will this impact Zimbabwe?
Let me begin with the issue of cement manufacturing. I think ultimately that is going to improve infrastructure development within the country, because what we expect from this move is that the prices of cement are actually going to decrease because of the healthy competition that is going to come with this move. So as prices of cement decrease, we expect that there will be more construction, and there will be an improvement as far as infrastructure is concerned within the country. And as infrastructure improves, we expect that other productive sectors of the economy will also improve. And then with the issue of fertilizer manufacturing, it will also improve the agricultural sector of the economy. With agriculture being the backbone of Zimbabwe, I think having fertilizer manufacturing happening locally is actually going to also decrease the prices of fertilizer within the country, and that is going to bolster agriculture, as there is an incentive to produce more in agriculture, and ultimately it's going to improve the GDP, and it's also going to help with economic development.
Blessing, thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening. We now cross over to Eben Mabunda to crunch the figures for us on foreign direct investment secured by Zimbabwe over the years. Eben?
Well, good evening. Let's take a look at the key stats in terms of the FDI inflows that have been coming into Zimbabwe. You will notice that you've got the ZEDA tabulated statistics vis-a-vis the United Nations Congress on Trade and Development Agency statistics. Now, according to the Zimbabwe Investment Development Agency, Zimbabwe has moved from a low of $1.4 billion in FDI inflows in 2020, moving right up to, of course, about $10 billion in 2023, and now just about $3.5 billion in 2024. Now, you notice the huge disparity between these two categories of statistics, mainly because the United Nations Congress on Trade and Development looks at the value that trickles in through the central bank channels as tabulated. But when ZEDA tabulates, they project, of course, the figures in as far as even the investment that actually comes into Zimbabwe. Now, a quick look at some of the key areas of investment, of course, starting with the mining sector, one of the four key pillars of the Zimbabwean economy, which has sparked an interest, especially looking at the lithium resource in Zimbabwe. We've also seen increased investment where the mining resource is actually concerned, as well as agriculture. But on the agricultural front, this is where we have seen a huge flow, of course, where this particular pillar is concerned, particularly where the tobacco subsector is concerned. Zimbabwe is Africa's largest tobacco producer and the world's sixth largest. We've also seen some activity where infrastructure, manufacturing, renewable energy in line, of course, with the Green Revolution, and there are indications that we could see more investment where the manufacturing sector is concerned going forward from this particular point.
Thank you very much, Eben. Now, in other news, Vice President Kembo Mohadi has called upon youths to lead the charge for economic and social transformation. The Vice President also urged the youths to build a Zimbabwe where every young person has the opportunity to thrive and contribute meaningfully to national development, with his message echoed by other stakeholders. Now, Vice President Mohadi was speaking at Intergenerational Roundtable Summit held in Harare this Wednesday.
While officiating the high-level Intergenerational Roundtable Summit in Harare today, VP Mohadi emphasized that the summit resonates deeply with the national aspiration to transform Zimbabwe into an upper-middle income society by 2030. The high-level summit, organized by Vision 2030 movement, was running under the theme Empowering Generations. The Vice President remarked that he has witnessed the ups and downs in the country's developmental trajectory. Conversely, he noted that the younger generation should be creative in the quest for a prosperous Zimbabwe.
Red front has shifted, but the fundamental call to action remains the same: to liberate our nation, not from political bondage, but from the shackles of economic inequality, unemployment, and underdevelopment. Just like the youth of my generation fought for political liberation, you, the youth of today, are called upon to lead the charge for economic and social transformation. This is your chimlenga, your struggle for prosperity, your opportunity to build the Zimbabwe we want, a Zimbabwe where every young person has the opportunity to thrive, to innovate, and to contribute meaningfully national development.
Speaking at the same event, the Minister of Skills, Audit and Development, Professor Paul Mavima, said human-centric growth begins with acknowledging that young people are drivers and custodians of national development.
To empower citizens, we must provide access to skills training, innovative learning pathways, platforms for entrepreneurship, and indeed the financial support that these innovators need.
Moreover, Zimbabwe Youth Council Chairperson Rutendo Mugwagwa pointed out that young people remain marginalized when it comes to decisions in prospering economies.
This reality that compels us to act decisively and strategically to ensure that no young Zimbabwean is left behind. As a council, we are prioritizing the formalization and registration of youth associations, such as the Vision 2030 movement, clubs, organizations, and we are prioritizing investing in capacity building and value creation, the promotion of economic empowerment through productive skills and enterprise development, and deliberately enhancing youth market linkage and access.
The core has been met. The youths are the future of tomorrow. By virtue of that, they should take the lead in transforming the economy. Latu Wenyang for Sit and Prime in Harare.
We'll still have a lot coming up on Newsplus. We'll give you something on the review of car radio licenses, as well as a report on a slight drop in road fatalities.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind on it, live the life that you
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Catch exclusive interviews every weekday for candid, exciting and thought-provoking conversations with your host, Erika Ndoro.
We talk about arts, we can talk about sports, we can even talk about politics, and sometimes we venture into a nice guitaristic play.
The one story where you can't get out of your head. Wakatarisa munhu so Erika like where you're sitting. Ndozongokona bata face so pasina munhu.
Wakasiya music yako yo afro chakuti ndo music manje no Zimbabwe.
And I'm sure they're still saying the same thing now.
Yeah, so
Shona kana kuti chindevere kana mumwe mutaure muno muZimbabwe ndiwe iwewe. Ndiwo rupawo rwako. Ndicho chidadiso chako.
Catch me, Erika Ndoro, right here on ZTN Prime every single Monday at 7 p.m. whilst we get exclusive.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned to Newsplus. Now, still on our local stories, the cost of operating in Zimbabwe's media industry may soon come down. The Ministry of Information says it is reviewing radio and other media-related license fees as part of efforts to make the sector more sustainable by January 2026. Now, the move follows growing public and industry concern over high charges, especially car radio licenses. Melissa Chatikobo gives us more.
It costs about $92 annually for a motorist to hold a radio license in Zimbabwe. The adjustment of such fees was made to widen revenue sources for the state broadcaster, but for many Zimbabweans, it's been pinching their pockets. Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Musweri, revealed plans to review all license fees, including the ZBC car radio licenses, by January 2026. The minister was responding to questions from media stakeholders at the 2025 Annual Media Stakeholders Conference in Harare.
The reviews in terms of the broadcasting sector are underway, and part of the conference deliberations is also to highlight some of the challenges that we face in terms of pricing modalities and duplication in terms of the licensing framework.
Officials say the review process is part of broader efforts to make the industry self-sustaining in a fast-changing digital ecosystem where traditional media houses are under pressure from online platforms and shrinking advertising revenues. Making the media sector more competitive and financially viable, encouraging investment, is part of the Zimbabwe media policy launched earlier this year.
In relation to media sector sustainability, local content production, utilization of technology, and in particular focusing on how best the media sector can leverage on artificial intelligence and information science.
Such a review of operating costs across the sector will not only be relief to the operational environment, but it is expected to improve the welfare of journalists.
Journalists were saying they are underpaid.
some working conditions have to be improved. And the minister was really spot on when he said that within the provisions of the media policy is the creation of an NEC for journalists. And this is the one that is going to determine the minimum salaries and other packages. So that will bring, or that is already bringing comfort to our newsroom.
Expected to wrap up by 2026, the review signals a fresh start for Zimbabwe's media landscape, a chance to align creativity, technology and sustainability in shaping the industry's future. Reporting for ZTM Prime, I am Melissa Chitkubo in Harare.
Now, moving on, more than 27,000 officials from government and private sector have signed corporate and integrity pledges to underscore their commitment to fighting corruption. This was revealed by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission Chairman, Michael Reza, who today presided over the signing of integrity pledges by officials from the Mutapa Investment Fund. Our correspondent Mashudu Mambo has more details.
Corporate integrity pledges are public declarations by organizations to uphold transparency, accountability, and ethical governance in their operations. The drive to sign these pledges, which is being spearheaded by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, has seen participation by top government officials, including ministers and key public entities. Today, officials from the Mutapa Investment Fund were the latest to sign these integrity pledges. They vowed to uphold ethical standards and curb corruption.
Yes, patriotic Zimbabwean citizens and yes, government agencies believe in the growth, prosperity, and inclusive development of our country, and in promoting good governance buttressed by transparency, accountability, integrity, and the rule of law. We acknowledge our responsibility to lead by example of the fight against corruption.
The officials were led by the chairman, Chipo Mutasa, and the chief executive officer, Dr. John Mangushka, in signing the pledges. Dr. Mangushka said that the signing ceremony is an affirmation that Mutapa Investment Fund stands resolute in building a culture grounded on integrity, transparency, and ethical leadership.
It is a declaration of intent and an affirmation that Mutapa Investment Fund stands resolute in building a culture of grounded on integrity, transparency, and ethical leadership.
The chairperson of Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, Michael Reza, who presided over the signing ceremony, said that corporate and individual pledges fortify the foundation for the successful implementation of the National Development Strategy 2.
The signing of the corporate and individual pledges fortifies the foundation for the successful implementation of the pending NDS2. Let me highlight that so far, a total of up to 2,700 integrity pledges have been signed by different individuals.
The signing of these pledges by Mutapa Investment Fund is a commitment to safeguarding public funds and growing the national assets. Reza said that the goal of the initiative is to strengthen the integrity in the public sector and enhance service delivery.
All these efforts are aimed at strengthening integrity in the public sector and enhancing service delivery as we glide towards 2030. May I remind you that the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission is your partner in this journey. We are here to support, to guide, and to help you build robust systems.
The signing of integrity pledges is part of a larger national anti-corruption strategy by ZAC. These individual pledges are personal public declarations by high-ranking officials to uphold the highest standards of honesty and integrity. The hope is that these officials will live up to their commitments. For ZTM Prime, I am Mashudu Mambo in Harare.
We now take you to Bulawayo, where the City Council has unveiled a new development plan that will see land unlocked for the construction of a new hospital and a skills training hub as part of efforts to modernize the city and attract investment. Now, the projects fall under the city's Local Development Plan 12, which feeds into Bulawayo's broader transformation agenda. We get more from Andile Chuma.
The Local Development Plan 12, presented by the city's Department of Town Planning under the Forward Planning section, aims to guide development in the southern parts of Bulawayo, including Bellevue, West Somerton, Newton and Newton West, Elwana, and all phases of Umkanini. Town planning official Swangile Ndlovu said the proposal sets the framework for mixed-use development that balances residential, commercial, and institutional growth. He was speaking during a stakeholder consultation meeting on the plan.
Newton West, a portion of West Somerton, and all the phases of Ngani, phase 1 up to 4. The area is bounded by our major roads. We have Matopos Road, Plant Road, and a portion of the railway line as we join to see Pambi Drive, or we have to see this up to Zwa Garage.
The plan designates land for a new district hospital and a skills training hub, which the city says are key to improving access to healthcare and supporting youth empowerment. Bulawayo Deputy Mayor, Councillor Edwin Ndlovu, said the initiative demonstrates council commitment to inclusive, sustainable development. Local Development Plan 12 will be incorporated into the city's master plan and submitted to government for approval before any construction begins. Director of Housing and Community Services Development, Dicta Kumalo, said once approved, the plan will provide a clear roadmap for infrastructure expansion, service delivery, and land use management in the city's southern corridor.
At this stage, we want to ensure that we have a policy framework because once this is approved, it becomes a statutory plan. And then the next process is obvious is to ensure that the plan is funded.
With the unveiling of Local Development Plan 12, Bulawayo continues to take concrete steps towards its goal of becoming a smart, resilient, and investor-friendly city. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
Now, stakeholders are still worried about the high number of road traffic accident fatalities despite a slight drop in the past year. This was revealed at the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe's annual general meeting in Harare this Wednesday. Talent Gore attended the AGM and filed the following report.
Despite recording a marginal improvement in road safety last year, authorities are still worried about the high numbers. In 2024, Zimbabwe recorded 2,015 deaths due to road traffic accidents, a drop from 2,099 that were recorded in 2023, a decline of 84. Speaking at the annual general meeting, Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe Managing Director Munesu Munodawafa emphasized the need for collective action to make Zimbabwe's roads safer. Munodawafa says although the figures show progress, more needs to be done to ensure the safety of all road users.
We are at least encouraged by the fact that there has been that reduction, and we believe that if we collectively work as Zimbabweans, we should be able to further reduce the numbers further downwards, and more importantly, to make that downward reduction sustainable.
The council says it remains focused on strengthening awareness campaigns and enforcing compliance with road regulations to build a culture of safety on the country's roads. Chief Director of Roads in the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Engineer David Jana, says a safe transport environment is key to national development. He commended the Traffic Safety Council for its continued efforts in promoting road safety awareness across Zimbabwe.
As government, we are very happy, as can be seen again from the results posted on the AGM, that there's been greater collaboration and awareness by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe together with various stakeholders.
With road crashes continuing to claim thousands of lives each year, authorities say only a united effort between government, motorists, and the public will help make Zimbabwe's roads truly safe. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I am Talent Gore in Harare.
Now, shortly in our look at global updates, Burkina Faso petrol stations to get mandatory CCTV.
The Phoenix Podcast has always brought you the best of the best.
I missed on that blessing, but I also regained it in some way.
In seasons 1 and 2, we introduced you to the industry's brightest stars, the ones at the top of their game, the creme de la creme. But season 3 promises to be even more exciting. We're bringing you even more fascinating guests, including the renowned farmer, Patrick Matadi.
Ndikure mu basa kushinga nekuziya chinango chekondida kuenda.
And to top it all off, our very own host, Ken Sharp, will be stepping out of the interviewer's chair and into the hot seat as he gets interviewed by a surprise guest host.
From the boss, we've been beaten, but we're not beaten yet. We can still rise.
Konapo Konapo, Ipapo Ipapo, Bazetian Prime, DSTV Channel 294, the place to be.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned to Newsplus this Wednesday evening. We now take a look at what's happening in the world around us. The Bekinabi Ministry of Security ordered the installation of CCTV systems with data recording at petrol stations by next year. Now, this is to combat the financing of terrorism and prevent armed groups from acquiring fuel. That's an issue common in the tri-border region of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Now, petrol station owners in Burkina Faso have welcomed this.
Ne tɔgɔ ninga abwa ntasena wa ne yelkanga wa kane yenning himbe wa namata ton fa gilli ina ton ye puda wa baraka yelkanga ha ne wala ton ye origisin ton na ton da designing la ha design ti katune wa bam ngoma ye rewa ya fwa ka lubu la ganyinga ton puda wa baraka ne tɔgɔ ninga bam kelna apie ti ton songwe ni yenning himbe ton tenga namata ton fa gilla vraiment pour la baraka ton kota meti na ka ton ning ba bi fagil ning ti ide kanga ide na songor fagil na songa ton me nga tuma poa bala ne mbela tumbe ne ba hanga tum shembala.
Elsewhere, African leaders, policymakers, and development experts convened in Addis Ababa on Monday for the 6th Conference on Land Policy in Africa, calling for sweeping land reforms to address poverty, inequality, and the legacy of colonial dispossession. Now, the 5-day conference held at the United Nations Conference Center from November 10 to the 13th is themed Land Governance, Justice and Reparations for Africans and Descendants of People of the African Diaspora. Jointly organized by the African Union Commission, the African Development Bank Group, and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the conference aims to address the enduring impact of slavery and colonialism on land ownership.
Land is the foundation of food security, social and sustainable economic development, and if managed equitable for the benefit of all citizens, it is the bedrock for social and political stability. Through our land reform programs, we are also establishing the basis for addressing the scourges of poverty, inequality, unemployment, and underdevelopment.
The 3 Great Pyramids have long stood as the enduring symbols of Egypt. Now, a new architectural marvel has risen to join them. Located just 2 kilometers away, the Grand Egyptian Museum that opened on November 4th is being hailed as the nation's 4th pyramid. That's a monumental structure designed to be a bridge between ancient wonders and modern civilization. The museum's design pays direct homage to the iconic structures it overlooks. And the creation of the Grand Egyptian Museum addresses a long-standing need and has left a strong impression on international visitors.
The Grand Staircase has got, apart from, of course, the statues of the kings and the queens, which are amazing, it's a good collection of everything.
It's very much like the pyramids. It allows the reflection of light beautifully, which changes throughout the day. You can see the pyramids. It's really quite amazing.
Still on our global updates, Sudan has become embroiled in an armed conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary rapid support forces since April 15th, 2023. Now, UN Women, a UN entity dedicated to gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls, warned that women in war-torn Sudan are facing an increasingly severe survival crisis amid the ongoing conflict. Now, Anna Mutavati, UN Women Regional Director for East and Southern Africa, said that women from El Fasher, the heart of Sudan's latest catastrophe, have endured extreme hunger, displacement, rape, and bombardment. They're not only struggling to access essential survival resources such as food, water, and fuel, but also experiencing a profound loss of human dignity. She also noted that UN Women will continue to collaborate with local humanitarian organizations to provide support for women in Sudan. Those were your global updates. Coming up is business.
Welcome wherever you are. And Marmoush, room to shoot! And he well and truly did! It's an opportunity, what a shot to Sudan! Scott's got to be careful. Bukayo Saka! But it's Salah, and that one delivers!
Never miss a play, home or away. Stream all Premier League games live on Showmax.
Government has reiterated its commitment to improving the livelihoods of the people through policies that promote macroeconomic stability, structural transformation, and inclusive growth. Chief Director in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Mr. Joseph Mverecha, emphasized the government's focus on sustainable economic development and opportunities for all citizens. He was speaking at the Zimbabwe National Defense University.
From the growth of the economy, in order to have equitable distribution of resources, to create an economy that confers equal opportunities for all our people, from Nyamaropa to Nyamandiovo, from Kumbura to Makado. If we are going to create an economy that confers equal opportunities for everyone, then we have to undertake certain structural transformation issues in the economy that help us to expand on housing, that help us to expand on health service, health delivery system, that help us to expand on access to education for the poor, particularly for the poor, so that a child of a widow in Nyamaropa or a child of a widower in Nyamandov can know that if they focus on their school and we can create conditions for that child to be able to access education and health.
Following the imposition of 18% tariffs on all Zimbabwean exports to the United States, coupled with the withdrawal of U.S. aid funding earlier this year, the Ministry of Finance has announced that it will review and adjust its fiscal and economic plans for 2026 and beyond in order to mitigate the resulting financial shortfall.
We have also further been affected by the aid withdrawal, sharply declining international aid flows to developing countries, particularly the US aid, which has massively scaled its operation and financing in Zimbabwe, particularly the health sector. And what that means is that from the Ministry of Finance, we have to make modifications to the plans for 2026 and beyond to cover the gap that has been left by the USA withdrawal from Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, set to chair COMESA in 2026, has an opportunity to leverage its regional ties to access funding for long-term infrastructure. This was said by Chief Executive of Zimbuild Property Investments, Tinashe Mazungu. He noted that relationships built over the years with COMESA members could help secure liquidity for roads, energy and industrial projects. He also emphasized that active regional engagement is key to sustaining growth.
Regional blocks that include SADC and COMESA, where we are saying we form these regional blocks for the essence or fluidity for us to reach to our continental blocks that deal with financing. So we are saying we should formulate or go for triple Ps with these institutions. They could be financial institutions, they could be insurance companies. You are aware that we have got issues that have been troubling Zimbabwe in the past. Political, social issues that could deter any investor to come to Zimbabwe. But right now, you see that we have warmed up to that index that is coming up to a positive trajectory. In the southern region of Africa, you see that we're actually competing very well. Probably one of the fastest growing economies, which is something that is positive. So you see that we have institutions that are ready to underwrite us or guarantee investors who want to come from Europe, America, everywhere to Zimbabwe to say, yes, you can proceed to deal with this Zimbabwean company or this Zimbabwean entity.
Stay tuned to Newsplus for some entertainment and sports news still to come.
In a world where music transcends boundaries, where rhythm and melody unite the hearts of people, comes a show that celebrates the power of music like never before. Get ready to dive into a sonic journey that will leave you mesmerized and yearning for more. Welcome to the captivating world of Z Vibes. Vibe to it, baby.
Didn't graduate. I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
That guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
It's time now to take a look at what's happening on the entertainment scenes. The following report looks at how local artists have been pushing boundaries in the creative scene and showcasing their talents over the past years at Mbari Art Space.
The Mbari community is known for the creativity that flows through its veins. And at the center of this community is Mbari Art Space, an art hub that has brought creativity and sustainability to the forefront of the local art scene over the past years. Founder Mofat Takadiwa, who uses everyday refuse, transforming discarded materials into stunning art pieces that reflects the everyday lives of Zimbabweans, delights in the learning growth at Mbari Art Space.
Mbari Art Space is a project in the center of the community of Mbari. So we thrive through the Mbari energy, which is mostly repurposing, reuse of materials, and a lot of informal economies. So we have a group of artists who are resident here, some who have been working here for quite some time. And with these artists, they also have practices which are anchored on materiality and use of different objects.
With limited art hubs in the city, collaboration opportunities have become more possible.
I think you can actually have access to different creative energies, access to art itself. We have a space which we are dedicating to showcase exhibitions which are not commercially driven, but exhibitions which purely give Zimbabwean stories in their purest forms.
A new generation of creatives has been inspired at this incubation hub and been given more access to art products.
So we create programs for them to spread the word of the work that they're doing. It won't be the same if an artist would be working from home. So we give them a platform to do what they do best, but also creating a network around them that will help them grow. We do a short-term artist in residence for 6 months. So this is a space that artists who have applied and have been accepted to the space can work from.
And many artists have found their place of belonging.
Being the first art space that has embraced the idea of coming to the community instead of the community going to, because normally art spaces, they're always in the uptowns, and us ghetto boys, we have to travel to those, and very insecure spaces as well for us. I mean, we're super intimidated by these spaces, but I think it was a clever idea for them to come to the downtowns, high-density suburbs, and that will give so many opportunities for young kids.
As the Zimbabwean creative community continues to evolve and showcase its art, artists will continue to find and use their skill to tell their own stories.
Coming up is sport.
Didn't graduate. I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
That guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
Get ready for another banging season of Faith on Trial as it enters its 4th season.
In the beginning was the Word.
Jesus is just a name. I believe in Jesus Christ.
He died that they which live should no longer live for themselves, but live for Him.
Rastafarian is not a religion, it's a way of life.
We continue to bring you all the controversial discussions in and around religion like no other.
But not now. This platform is very inclusive, open to conversations when it comes to matters of religion and spirituality.
The conversation just got more interesting.
Chinonzi manjusu achitaurwa pamunhu jekerere ndezvinhu zvatinotora sekuti chivanhu chedu cheZimbabwe chakavanzika.
We bring to you all issues religion and spirituality, from the Islamic walk of faith, Christianity, the Rastafarians, the Shintoists, even the cult believers. We have it all. It's about to get interesting. Don't miss it for the world. Catch the epic new season of Faith on Trial on DSTV channel 294.
Welcome back. We now take a look at some sports updates. UK-based forward Tawanda Maswanise has backed the Warriors to adapt to incoming coach Marian Marinika's football philosophy. Describing his football, Marinika said, quote, "My philosophy of playing is called fast and very fast, which actually means think fast, act fast, move fast, and be well prepared and organized. And that means in everything, including on and off the pitch. So basically, I would like players to start thinking fast. That's what they have to do in terms of strategy." Now, Maswanise says they have been working on this ahead of tomorrow's friendly against Algeria in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
The managers are really trying to get his system into the players. So we've been on the pitch extra for a few extra minutes. So yeah, it's been really well. Yeah, obviously we want a positive result, but we're focusing on the AFCON for December next month. So with this new system that we're going to play, we're training so hard and we're working different play styles. So yeah, we're just working for the AFCON. It's a bit difficult with the new system, but they're responding well. Everyone's bonding really well and how he wants us to play in each position. So yeah, it's going well so far. High energy as well, especially in the training sessions, and obviously in and around the dinner and stuff. Everyone's calm.
And now on to the next ICC World Test Championship, WTC cycle, starting in 2027. The Chevrons are among 3 test-playing nations, alongside Afghanistan and Ireland, that were not included in the ongoing cycle, which is currently in its 2nd edition. However, all 12 full members are set to feature in one division after plans to split nations into 2 tiers failed to gain widespread support. A resurrection for the short-lived ODI Super League is also on the cards. All of the teams that are part of the WTC cycle will be expected to play a minimum number of tests, with the exact number yet to be known. However, no extra funding is likely to be available for hosting tests, something which has been a struggle for smaller nations such as Zimbabwe. Now, the ICC board is expected to debate these issues at the next meeting early next year. And still on sport, Zimbabwe under-21 women's hockey team is putting down final touches before heading into camp next week for the Junior Hockey World Cup set for December. The team will be heading to Chile for the showpiece, hoping to go to the distance this time around. We get more in the following report.
The Zimbabwe under-21 women's hockey team is counting down the days before they head to South America for a full camp in the lead up to the Junior World Cup in Chile. The girls have been training in separate groups, with some based in Harare, Bulawayo and Marondera, while others are studying abroad. Head coach Brett Joa has been conducting remote sessions and says that he's eager to work with a full squad once they assemble in camp. Zimbabwe booked their spot at the World Cup after an impressive run at the Junior Africa Cup in Namibia back in April, and the team features a number of players who have already tasted action at a top level. The coach says preparations have been on track, but the real grind starts next week when they touch down in South America.
When we get to Chile next week, that'll be when we go into quite an intensive camp, I guess, and that's when everyone will be working together. We're traveling with a much more experienced squad than we did 2 years ago, so that should be a massive boost to the team, knowing that we've got.
We apologize for that, but moving on, Zimbabwe Women Premier Soccer League champions Herentals Queens continued their dominance in the league with a 3-0 win over Platinum Royals at Kwanzura in a rescheduled league match. Now, Jawanda hit a hat-trick as the team collected their 24th win of the season after 26 games. The Queens were already confirmed champions for the 4th season in a row last week.
It was a big performance, great performance today against the Platinum Royals. It was a big game because Platinum is a strong side and they were organized. They caused us a lot of trouble, but we managed to neutralize them and convert our chances. That was the difference today. So we are happy with the girls, we are happy with the result, and we are happy with the win that we take today.
Platinum Royals are set to finish on 5th position in the league, which concludes this weekend. Assistant coach Blessed Govati expressed satisfaction over the team's progress this season, despite losing on the day.
I think football is a game judged by results and goals. I think they scored more goals, but I think my girls are really good, a good fight. Unfortunately, the reflection of the result, I don't think it is what happens on the pitch. Unfortunately, we are unlucky to concede, but I think on our next game against Harare City, we will try to do better not to concede. I think we've really made really good progress. As you know, in women's football, it's the top 4 against the rest of the teams. So I think finishing top 5 just behind the top 4 teams, it's a really good achievement for our team.
And that's a wrap on Newsplus this evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Wadzanai Sansole. Have a good night.